Get off my property now, or I'll call the police." Khalil Mansouri shouted these words as he marched toward the back of his Malibu mansion. The 42-year-old Syrian-American businessman, owner of a chain of private medical clinics, had just caught an intruder on his property. But when he got closer, the scene made him stop abruptly. An African-American girl of about 16 was sitting on the ground next to the pool, holding his 6-year-old daughter, Layla, in her arms. The girl was having another of her coughing fits, which had been becoming increasingly frequent and frightening. The girl was wearing dirty, torn clothes, her sneakers had holes in the soles, and her curly hair was unkempt, as if it hadn't been washed in days. But what shocked Khalil the most was seeing his own daughter in the arms of this stranger. "What are you doing with my daughter?" Khalil roared, running toward them. "Please, sir, calm down," said the girl in a firm but respectful voice. "Layla fainted near the gate. I brought her here to help her." Khalil looked at Layla, who was pale and feverish. Her breathing was difficult and irregular, and she coughed with a force that seemed to tear her small chest apart. Since his wife had died 2 years ago, Layla had been getting sicker and sicker, but the best doctor's money could buy insisted it was just emotional stress. "Let go of my daughter," Khalil ordered, extending his arms. "Of course," the girl said, handing Layla over carefully. "But sir, she needs urgent medical attention. That cough isn't normal. From the color of her skin and her breathing pattern, I'd say it could be atypical pneumonia or something related to the immune system." Khalil stopped abruptly, surprised by the technical precision of her words. "How do you know these medical terms?" "I know what my daughter needs," he exploded, ignoring her question. "I own medical clinics. And you're just a homeless person," the girl finished calmly. "Yes, I know. But that doesn't stop me from recognizing when a child is seriously ill." Khalil looked at her more closely. Despite her dirty clothes, there was something about her posture, the way she spoke, that didn't fit with a simple homeless person. Her eyes had a sharp intelligence that made him question his first impressions. Khalil held Layla in his arms, feeling how hot she was with fever. The child opened her eyes for a moment and whispered, "Daddy, she saved me. I was falling and she caught me." "Don't worry, princess," Khalil said, but his voice trembled slightly. "Daddy's here now." The girl slowly got to her feet, brushing the dirt from her clothes. Khalil noticed that despite the grime, her nails were neatly trimmed, a strange detail for someone who lived on the streets. "Sir, with all due respect, I've seen this cough before. From the symptoms I've observed, she needs immediate testing. Complete blood count, bacterial cultures, possibly a chest CT scan." Khalil was silent for a moment. That girl was listing tests he himself would consider ordering. How did a homeless person know medical protocols? "How dare you give me medical advice?" he exploded, trying to mask his confusion with anger. "You're nothing but a tramp who invaded my property." The girl looked at him with an expression that mixed sadness and a strange wisdom for someone so young. "You're right, I'm just a homeless person," she said with surprising dignity. "But sometimes, those on the outside can see things that those who are too close can't." Khalil dialed security as he watched her walk away down the street. "Useless security," he muttered. "How did they let that girl in?" But something about that conversation bothered him. The way the girl had taken care of Layla, the respectful way she had spoken about her illness, and especially her final words about seeing from the outside. That night, while Layla slept restlessly in her room, Khalil couldn't get the image of the girl out of his mind. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw those intelligent eyes again, heard the precision with which she had described the medical symptoms. He got up and went to his office, where he kept Layla's medical reports. He leafed through them again, looking for something he might have missed. 3 different doctors, all renowned specialists, had diagnosed post-traumatic stress after her mother's death. But the girl had mentioned atypical pneumonia. Khalil picked up the phone and dialed Dr. Peterson, his best doctor. "Peterson, I need more specific tests for Layla. Complete blood count, cultures, chest CT scan. Khalil, we've already done all the necessary tests. It's stress, like we said. Do it again, Khalil said firmly. And this time, look for atypical infections. After hanging up, Khalil stood at the window, staring at the dark street where the girl had disappeared. There was something deeply disturbing about the way a 16-year-old homeless girl had suggested exactly the same tests he had just requested. Who was that girl? He asked himself aloud. It was a question that would haunt him far more than he could have imagined. If you're enjoying this story that will stir your emotions, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because what's coming next will leave you speechless. 2 days later, Dr. Peterson called Khalil with results that left him in shock. Khalil, you were right. Layla has a rare bacterial infection that was being masked by stress symptoms. If we hadn't discovered it now, the doctor's voice faltered. A few more weeks and it could have been fatal. Khalil almost dropped the phone. How is that possible? 3 specialists examined my daughter. Sometimes emotional symptoms can mask physical conditions. Who suggested these specific tests? Khalil hesitated. An outside consultant. That afternoon, while Layla was receiving treatment at the hospital, Khalil couldn't stop thinking about the homeless girl. How had she diagnosed in minutes what medical experts had missed for months? He decided he had to find her. Over the next few days, Khalil scoured the poorest neighborhoods of Los Angeles looking for the girl. He asked at shelters, community health clinics, and social service centers. No one knew her or had seen anyone matching her description. It was at a free clinic in East LA that Khalil finally got a lead. A black girl, about 16, who talks like a doctor? Asked the nurse, Dr. Rodriguez. Oh, you must be talking about Jasmine. Jasmine Chen. She shows up here sometimes, always asking technical questions about diseases, asking to see medical records. She's strange, very intelligent, but she's been living on the streets for months. Chen. Khalil frowned. That last name doesn't fit. She's adopted. Or she was. Her adoptive family kicked her out last year after. Dr. Rodriguez stopped abruptly. After what? Look, I shouldn't be talking about this. Khalil took a $500 bill out of his wallet. Please, I need to know. She saved my daughter's life. Dr. Rodriguez looked around nervously before continuing. Jasmine was the adopted daughter of Dr. Michael Chun, one of the most respected pediatric surgeons in the city. She was being groomed to follow in his footsteps. She was a prodigy. But a year ago, something terrible happened. What happened? Dr. Chun was accused of medical malpractice. A child died during surgery. Jasmine discovered evidence that her adoptive father was operating under the influence of drugs, but when she tried to report it, the family kicked her out to protect his reputation. Khalil felt a chill run down his spine. And Dr. Chen? He's still operating. He has powerful connections and managed to cover up the case. But Jasmine lost everything: her family, her home, her future in medicine. Now she lives on the streets. Where can I find her? She usually hangs around St. Mary's Hospital at night. She says she's still studying medicine on her own, using books she finds in the trash. That night, Khalil went to St. Mary's Hospital. He found Jasmine sitting on the back steps, reading a medical book by the light of a street lamp. Jasmine. She looked up, showing no surprise at seeing him. Mr. Mansouri. How's Layla? Better, thanks to you. Khalil sat down next to her. Why didn't you tell me who you were? What difference would it make? You'd still see me as a homeless person. Jasmine closed the book. People only listen when it suits them. I'm listening now. Jasmine studied him for a long moment. Dr. Chun ruined my life because I discovered the truth about him. Now he continues to operate on children while he's high, and there's nothing I can do to stop him." "You can," Khalil said softly. "I have resources, connections, influence. If you help me prove his negligence, we can get justice." "Why would you do that?" "Because you saved my daughter. And because no child should suffer what you suffered." Jasmine opened the book again, but her hands were shaking slightly. "Dr. Chun has footage of all the surgeries. If we could get access to the files from the last 2 years, I could identify other cases of negligence." "And how do we do that?" For the first time, Jasmine smiled, a smile that was part revenge and part justice. "I know every corner of that hospital, Mr. Mansouri. I grew up there." A week later, Khalil was dressed as a maintenance technician, following Jasmine through the corridors of St. Mary's Hospital at 2 a.m. She knew every camera, every guard, every escape route. "The digital archive is on the 3rd floor, Jasmine whispered. "Dr. Chun always saves the surgeries in a specific folder labeled Special Cases." When they reached the file room, Jasmine typed a code into the computer with the ease of someone who had grown up there. "How do you still have access?" Khalil asked. "Dr. Chun never changed my password. His arrogance." Jasmine opened the files and began downloading gigabytes of data. "Khalil, look at this." Dozens of videos of surgeries from the past 2 years appeared on the screen. Jasmine opened one at random, and they were both horrified. Dr. Chun was clearly under the influence of substances, his hands shaking, his movements uncoordinated. During the surgery of an 8-year-old child, he made a grotesque mistake that almost cost the patient his life. "My God," Khalil murmured. "How many children?" "Dozens," Jasmine said, her voice breaking. "And all the families were silenced with financial settlements or threats. They copied all the files when they heard footsteps in the hallway." "Dr. Chun," whispered Jasmine, recognizing the sound. "He comes to check the files every night. Paranoia from the drugs. Should we hide?" "No." Jasmine stood up, a fierce determination in her eyes. "It's time he knew he didn't destroy me." The door opened and Dr. Michael Chen entered, a 55-year-old man still wearing surgical scrubs, his pupils dilated and his movements nervous, typical of someone on stimulants. "Jasmine." He stopped abruptly, incredulous. "What are you doing here?" "Getting my life back," she replied coldly. "And saving other children from you." Dr. Chen noticed Khalil and the recording equipment. "Who is this man? Are you recording?" "I'm Khalil Mansouri," he said, taking a camera out of his pocket. "And yes, we are recording. Just like you record your negligent surgeries. Get out of here now or I'll call security." "Call them," Jasmine said calmly, showing him her cell phone. "Because I already called the FBI, the State Medical Board, and 3 investigative journalists. They'll be here in 10 minutes. Dr. Chen's face drained of color. "You can't prove anything." "Yes, I can." Jasmine plugged a flash drive into the computer and began projecting the videos onto the large screen in the room. "Want to see your greatest works, Daddy?" The first video showed Dr. Chen operating while visibly drugged, causing a near-fatal hemorrhage in a child. The second showed another serious mistake during pediatric heart surgery. "Stop!" Dr. Chen shouted, trying to turn off the computer. Khalil stopped him, holding him firmly. "You're going to watch every second of what you did to these children." "Especially this one," said Jasmine, opening a specific file. "The case that made me discover everything. Tommy Rodriguez, 7 years old. He died on the operating table because you were too high to operate." On the screen, the video showed Dr. Chen clearly incapacitated, making a basic mistake that resulted in the child's death. Tears streamed down Jasmine's face. "When I tried to report you, you kicked me out of the house and destroyed my reputation. You made me look like a troubled, lying teenager." "Jasmine, you don't understand the pressures of my job." "Don't give me excuses," she exploded. "You killed children because of your addiction. And on top of that, you took away the only family I had." Sirens began to wail outside. Dr. Chun rushed to the window and saw FBI cars and police vehicles surrounding the hospital. "How did you get all this so fast?" "Because Khalil has connections you never imagined," Jasmine said. "And because the truth always finds a way." The door opened and federal agents entered. The leader, Agent Sullivan, showed his badge. "Dr. Michael Chun, you are under arrest for criminal medical negligence, manslaughter, and obstruction of justice." "This is absurd. I'm a respected surgeon." "You were," Khalil corrected. "Now you're just an addict who put children at risk." As they handcuffed Dr. Chun, he looked at Jasmine with hatred. "You destroyed our family out of revenge." "I saved other families from the pain you caused," Jasmine replied. "And I discovered that we never had a real family. Real families don't kick their daughters out for telling the truth." Dr. Chun was led away under the glare of cameras from journalists who had already arrived. The case would become national headlines. Addicted surgeon operated on children while high on drugs. For the first time in a year, Jasmine smiled a genuine smile of relief. 6 months later, Jasmine Chun sat in the front row of the federal courtroom, watching Dr. Michael Chun receive a 25-year prison sentence for criminal medical negligence and manslaughter of 7 children. The defendant showed complete disregard for human life, the judge said. His actions caused untold death and suffering. This court permanently revokes his medical license and orders $50 million in compensation to the victims' families. Dr. Chun, visibly aged and broken, was led away in handcuffs under a barrage of camera flashes. His career, reputation, and fortune had been completely destroyed. Jasmine felt no pleasure at seeing him taken away. Only a deep relief that other children would be safe. Outside the courthouse, dozens of families who had lost children to Dr. Chen's negligence approached Jasmine to thank her. "You gave us justice when we thought we would never have it," said Maria Rodriguez, Tommy's mother. "My son can finally rest in peace." Khalil, who had followed the entire trial, put his hand on Jasmine's shoulder. "What now? What are your plans?" "Harvard offered me a full scholarship to study medicine," Jasmine said, showing him a letter. "They were impressed by my practical experience in identifying medical negligence." "Are you going to accept?" "I am. But first, I want to finish high school properly. And," she hesitated, "I would like to accept your offer to live with you and Layla until I graduate." Khalil smiled. 3 months ago, when he learned that Jasmine still had nowhere to live, he had offered her the guest room in his mansion. She had initially refused, but gradually realized that she needed stability to rebuild her life. "Layla will be delighted. She already considers you the older sister she never had." In fact, Layla had made a full recovery thanks to the right treatment and had developed an almost religious admiration for Jasmine. "When I grow up, I want to be a doctor like Jasmine," she always said. The following week, Jasmine obtained her GED, high school equivalency diploma, through an accelerated program, finishing with the highest score in the state. In her speech at the certification ceremony, she spoke about resilience and truth. "A year and a half ago, I lost everything, my family, my home, my future. I was expelled for speaking the truth about injustices I witnessed. I slept on cold streets, ate leftovers, and was treated like human trash." The audience was completely silent. "But I learned that our true strength doesn't come from what we have, but from what we do when we lose everything. When you have nothing to lose, you can fight for everything you believe in." She looked at Khalil and Layla in the audience. Sometimes people who seem to have everything on the outside are empty on the inside. And sometimes, those who seem to have nothing carry treasures that money can't buy: courage, truth, compassion. After graduation, the family Jasmine had lost was replaced by something even better. Khalil officially adopted her, not out of charity, but in recognition that she had saved not only Layla, but also himself. She taught me that real wealth isn't the clinics I own, Khalil said in an interview. It's having people by my side who make me a better person. Khalil turned one of his clinics into a free medical center for underprivileged children, with Jasmine as a junior consultant. She implemented strict protocols to identify medical negligence and protect vulnerable patients. A year later, when Jasmine entered Harvard Medical School, she received an unexpected letter. It was from Dr. Chun, written from prison. Jasmine, I know I can never redeem myself for the harm I caused. But I want you to know that you were right. I was a monster in a doctor's uniform. Thank you for stopping me before I killed more children. You saved lives that I would have destroyed. Jasmine folded the letter and kept it. It wasn't the apology that mattered, but the confirmation that she had done the right thing. During the Harvard entrance ceremony, Jasmine looked at Khalil and Layla in the audience and realized that her journey from the streets to that moment had not been just about revenge or justice. It had been about discovering that family isn't who raises you, but who chooses to stand by you when you need the most. Dr. Chun tried to destroy Jasmine to protect his own crimes. In the end, he destroyed himself when she proved that the truth is more powerful than any conspiracy. Sometimes, those who seem to have lost everything are the ones with the most strength to fight for justice. And sometimes, the person you least expect can be the one who saves your life. If this story touched your heart, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories that show that courage and truth always win in the end.